Hello everyone, to the students of class 6. Welcome to the third chapter, and the name of the chapter is India of the Future. So we are going to talk about the future of India, how India should be in the future, how we must develop our country. See, India is a home for a billion people. Means we have the second we are the second most populous country in the world. We already talked about community in the second chapter. So we in India live from different communities. We have different religions. We have people from different castes, different tribes, different languages. We have different kinds of people living in the same country on the same land, and our dream is to make India so prosperous, so healthy and wealthy, so much developed, because we are developing our country in such a pace that we can develop our country in our coming years, in the coming years. And our aim must be that we make our country very happy. Even though we have different communities living together, our aim must be only to make our country happy, prosperous, with peace and harmony. Now there is a huge gap between the rich and the poor in India. Not only about the rich and poor, we have huge gaps in many things based on communities, religion, language, race, tribes, many things. But right now we have a huge gap. If we have the level of rich people in India is here, the level of poor people are here. We have a huge gap between the rich and the poor. Now, if we find out the top 100 most rich people in the world, we would have lots of names of Indians there. And we never have such lists or such magazines for poor, for the establishment of poor, for the development of the poor. But even if we had the list of poor people in the world, we would actually have more names of Indians than the list. We have the names of Indians in the rich list. We have a lot of poor people. We are developing our country. We are having a good pace, but if we have this many people of rich people, but there are a huge poor people. In India, we have a huge gap between this rich and poor, and even if we are developing our country, we need to develop our poor more, because rich are developed, but developing such a country with different communities is a huge task. Mahatma Gandhi never thought that India would be free if the Britishers leave our country. But uh, he thought that India would be free if there is no one hungry in the country, and there is no one who is sad, there is no one who shed tears from their eyes. According to him, India would be free if the people of our country is happy. They do not sleep their nights with hungry stomachs. They must be happy. That's how he thought that India would be free. You can become prime minister, you can become finance minister, you can become anything. In the second chapter, we have learned about community, so we have talked about community in this chapter as well. And in the first chapter, we have talked about serving our nation. So you can become prime minister, finance minister, police, Indian army, doctors, engineers. You can become anything and to serve your country. And that is how actually our dream must be. We need to serve our country, but our dream must be one of these. Our dream must be to make our country happy, to make the citizens of our country happy, to make our country prosperous, to make our country healthy and wealthy, to provide good education. And it's not only about providing gifts to the poor, it's actually about educating them to make a decent living, to make a good and happy living. It's about educating them to not beg. It's about teaching them about equality. Every man has equal rights. And it's not about only men, the gender men. It means that every person of our country must be provided equality. They must have the rights for everything. Not only the rich must be allowed to have every stuff they need, or even the poor must be allowed, and they must be distributed, and they must be provided with the benefits like every rich people of our country get. And students, another dream of the citizens of India, us, means our dream must be that of making India clean. We must keep our environment clean, our atmosphere clean, our waters clean, our land clean. I have made one video in on 3rd of July about plastic bag free day, and I have talked about United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. I have talked before United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. I don't know if you have watched it. Go to YouTube, go to the school YouTube channel, watch it. It's a plastic bag free day. I have talked about United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So, you know, the world is trying to keep the earth clean, to make the world eliminate all the plastics and keep the environment clean. So, our every country must have their dreams. Right now, as the citizen of India, we must have this dream of making our country clean, keeping our country clean, and eliminating every plastics, every waste materials which are not biodegradable. We must clean our rivers. We must keep our ponds, lakes clean. We must not throw garbages into the rivers or lakes or ponds, because that's how our environment is going to be polluted. We would not have fresh air to breathe. We would not have fresh water to drink. So this is another dream. First one is to keep India developing in such a pace so that they get the right education, they get equality, they get every benefits as the rich get in the country. They must not beg, they must not stay hungry, they must not shed tears, they must be happy. And then we must make our country prosperous. That's our dream. And the second dream is to make our India clean. So in this chapter, we have learned these two main things. First, to make India prosperous, and the second is to make our country clean, to keep our country clean. So students, learn to keep your environment clean. Do not throw plastic waste here and there. Do not throw garbages into the river, and do not throw your plastic packets whenever you go. Whenever you travel from bus or your cars, vehicles, do not throw your plastic bottles or your chips packets here up from the window. Learn to keep your environment clean. That's how you will be having fresh air to breathe and clean, hygienic water to drink and for various sanitation purposes. So students, thank you so much for listening to the third chapter, and all the best for your quarterly exam. Start preparing, and any doubt, any problem, ask me in the next class. I will be conducting it very soon. So thank you so much. See you in the next video.